about time. there in 10. Big R1, I'll be there in 10. Where and when? Big R1, I'll be there in 10. I am the boogeyman scaring men. Pull out my name and I appear with. Come to a video, shoes in your ends. I will turn up earlier than your cameraman. Bare equipment, you be thinking it's them. Hold on, wait there, where's his lens? There's his lens. Unsatisfied thing, where's his friends? Human are camping, my animals are out raiding for you with spare intent. Why would I scrap when I'm here with. Man, don't care if your ears are bent. No,
It is time for the match. Martin Tyler here to describe it for you with my good friend Alan Smith.
Yeah, hi there, Martin. Walking into the ground today, I've just got that feeling it's going to be a really good afternoon.
And it's Chelsea today, and they play Everton. Wasteful pass, unforced error, really. Graham Scott is the match referee today. Calvert-Lewin. Now Jorginho. He's almost defied gravity to get to that one.
Full stretch, it was heading for the corner, that one.
Corner for Chelsea. And that will clear the danger. What a shot and what a goal! Well, he's pulled a rabbit out of the hat here.
Well, I don't think he'll score many better than that in his entire career, Martin. It was a long, long way out.
It flew into the net from a long, long way out.
I made a chronal accelerator.
Traveling to Volskaya Industries. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
Imagination is the essence of discovery. I can't wait to see you all in action.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Onward and upward.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
Onward and upward.
This will heal you.
Through the miracle of science. Further experimentation required. Once more into the breach.
Cease your resistance.
Re-engaging. Justice will be done.
Pass this forth. I'm under attack.
This is not over.
Get into position.
Much better. Come out and face me.
Traveling to Route 66. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
Justice will be done.
Think you can keep up with me?
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
All systems operational. All right. Game face on.
Stand by. 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Together, we are strong. Get into position.
Checking in.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Weapons linked. Assistance would be appreciated. Hamster revived. There is no obligation for the universe to make sense to you. It's Halloween. Area denied.
Soldier 76, reporting for duty.
Hello there.
Hiya.
Now, hold on.
An unexpected but not unwelcome
The
development.
payload has reached the checkpoint.
Observe the barrier. Barrier unstable.
Mecha activated.
Stardust is brand new. I am under attack. That music. It's playing again. Die, die, die. Activating the barrier. Back to me. That's blocking them out. That music. It's playing again. It's
Welcome to the Bonsburgers Health PSA. After the sudden situations over the world, we decided to make a certain protocol for our Bunny Smiles employees to follow. Hello, BSI members and employees, and welcome to the tape that will change the future of the Bond's Burgers brand and the Bunny Smiles company for the better. That's right, after 4 long years of legal paperwork, we finally decided to use our backup plan, which we created after the tragic closure of Bond's Burgers back on July 20th, 1974. Ladies and gentlemen, we now present to you the Relocate Project. But before we go into details, we want to greet all the new Bunny Smiles employees. With the company greeting out of the way, let's start analyzing the Relocate Project by checking what has happened ever since the closure of Bond's 4 years ago. As many of you might have known from previous tapes, our beloved restaurant's closure. Later on, a good amount of business opportunities appeared, such as books, merch, animated movies. We even got a TV show. That's when Felix Kranke of Restore and reprogrammed the robots of Bond's Burgers with the purpose of relocating them in a new restaurant that would be opened in a not-so-distant future. A pretty smart plan, right? Making enough money to eventually reopen the Bond's Burgers restaurant is no doubt a brilliant idea. So let's give it up for Felix Kranke, a man with not only a giant brain, but also a giant heart.
When it's unsuccessful, the rabbit keeps trying to find a way out or at least catch the owner's attention. The mighty rabbit must get out. The mighty rabbit needs to 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 get out. Is starving. The rabbit 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 is starving. Is starving. Is starving. Is starving. Is starving. Is starving. Is
Welcome to technical support. Today we will focus on the area tour and orientation inside K9, the Bunny Smiles storage facility. We recommend all facility caretakers to have all needed equipment in hand and to always wear the Bunny Smiles uniform. But most importantly, all of you must always, under any circumstance, use your BSI ID card. Once you have all the necessary equipment at hand, we are ready to go. Hello, I see you made it to the storage facility. I bet you must be very excited and nervous to start working here. But let's stop and think. Do you have all the necessary items for your job tasks? I thought so. Let's put on a nice backpack and start packing some items. Let's check the items you will require for your job at K9. Lantern? Check. Snacks? Camera? Check. Wow, it's pretty dark here. You should turn on the light. Turn on the light. Turn on the light. Turn on the... It's important to keep track of which rooms you enter. This place can be really tricky and you could get lost very easily. This is the resting room. In this room, you can sit down, rest, talk with coworkers, you name it. Remember to always keep this room as clean and organized as possible. A clean environment helps to get tasks done faster. A dirty environment only makes your job harder to get done. Alright, this is the main hall of the place. In front of you, you will find 3 doors. These are storage areas. The first door is used to save any kind of cleaning items and supplies. The second door is used to save any kind of prizes and merch that was available in the Bond's Burgers restaurant. The third door is used to hide... Welcome to the basement. Right now, you are in the main storage area. As you can see, this is the room where we storage more important items such as stages, tables, arcade machines, and birthday props. Now, please follow me to the next door.
Remember to avoid touching or shining lights at our robots unless you are a facility technician. Now let's move on to the next room.
How odd. I remember we visited this room already.
Sophie, where am I?
Listen. By the time the lady entered the backstage as the voice told her to, missing husband wasn't there. Instead, she found a rat. Rose broken will fix you. You will beautiful. You will beautiful. You will beautiful.
When she woke up, she looked beautiful. But on the inside,
How did we come up with the idea to combine our
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar. Hopefully you've watched the first part of this video. Not on my channel, on my good friend CoffeeZilla's channel. If you don't know him, you probably remember him from like 2 months ago when we looked at Save the Kids Together, which was an absolutely bombastic time together. Since then, we've been working on Rubets for months, and we've basically sort of learned blockchains and various new technologies over and over again. Our investigation game has gone a step higher, if I must say. Now remember, this is part 2 of 6 in a series. The first part is on Coffee's channel. To understand, just to recap his prior video, Coffee basically looked at an influencer known as Steve Will Do It. Various influencers involved into this situation. Now, Steve Will Do It had a weird discrepancy regarding how much cash he was possibly making versus how much cash that he was absolutely burning. Now, what's more important in this is the character known as Alan. Now, in Coffee's video, he looked at Alan, and another investigator jumped in called Fillion, who basically looked and sort of broke the story out initially. Now, Fillion basically linked Alan, who is this character, who Steve Will Do It himself credits in the video as Alfonso. Except that may not be the real name in this situation, because Steve himself in the same video refers to Alfonso as Alan.
Fun fact about Alfonso and Doom, 100% of the time, 365 days of the year, he wears a full send / Steve Will Do It / Happy Dad shirt. And Alan,
literally within the same sentence, points at the guy, switches names. No cuts in the video, by the way. That's the raw video you're looking at. Alan has also been tied to Wizza through his social media profile where he says, "I make cool websites, www.wizza.com." Alan himself has also been linked to a CSGO gambling circuit way back in the day from years ago through this Twitter account. Now, if we're using the Alan Wizza connection here, Aiden Ross jumps in as what I would like to call basically at this point a secret informant, because during a live stream he uttered this out where he said that the owner of Wizza, who sponsors his house, is also the owner of Rubet.
This house is sponsored by a company called like Wizza or some shit. I haven't paid rent at all, but I helped me come up with giveaways like challenges and like last person to blah 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 gets blah 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 blah. Like I can literally promote how I want to do it, how we want to do it. You guys can help me decide. Like, yo, Aiden, you should do a giveaway where you're doing this. They're actually really cool dudes, bro, and they're just like me. Like they own Rubet, they own that site, right?
In fact, even Steve Will Do It, when he was dealing with luxury timepieces, decided to actually leave this in one of the videos that he was working or collaborating with. Listen closely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I paid 60.
Oh, this one's super nice.
But so my buddy gifted me
Rubet.
So now,
you gotta love the beep after the Rubet. Talk about an editing error. But this watch, I swear I've seen it somewhere.
one of my best buddies gave me this lifestyle watch, and it's badass and shit. But the reason why I bought that one is because I want this lifestyle watch to be like in display, like in here, like a museum. It sits there, like from Alfonso LLC.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, those look like the same watch, but in the first clip, he nods to the idea of Rubet, you know? But in the second clip, he just blatantly said Alfonso. So this guy? Honestly, he keeps messing up the names. Listen to this whole clip here, and you'll hear it for yourself. He keeps using the name Alan, and then, like, literally 5 seconds later, Rubet gets mentioned.
I got ripped off extremely.
What'd you pay, 30?
No. We don't even want to talk about it.
Let me see.
I got ripped off extremely, so then my buddy, where's my Richard? My buddy, my friend, Alan, that you saw yesterday, he gifted me this. I won't ever wear that because I got ripped off and I hate it. So whenever I found out I did.
You paid over 30.
Yeah, a lot. So we don't talk about it.
I would have sold you this for.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I paid 60.
Oh, this one's super nice.
But so my buddy gifted me
Rubet.
I really do want to hear the explanation to all of that. Some of you may have also heard of the name Matt Dua flying around on the internet from articles as of last year where he was credited as the integrations director at Rubet. So there's a few people involved. Now, these links are important indeed, but they're going to play a lot of importance towards part 5 and part 6 when we finish this. Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and I'm not excited for GTA Definitive, buckos, and by not excited, I mean ladies and gentlemen, my expectations couldn't be lower if you tried. Now ladies and gentlemen, if it's one thing I've learned about remasters and Rockstar games, is never get your hopes up. Now ladies and gentlemen, Rockstar has been making some pretty egregious mistakes on my behalf. A good time! If you haven't played Metroid Dread, I urge you to pick it up. I know some people be like, but Muda, $60 for a side-scroller. It's a good game. Alright, it's a good game. I pay $60 for a good game. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Grand Theft Auto, the Definitive Edition right here. Not really. This is the Trilogy Pack. It's one of my best physical purchases that I've ever made for the system. It contains the PS2 versions of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Now, why would I buy that? Well, it's because I'm a big GTA fan, okay, ladies and gentlemen? I like Grand Theft Auto. I know that I like to crap on GTA all the time, especially with GTA 5, and especially because of GTA Online, but I am actually a huge fan. If I'm critical of something that hard, I usually am a really big fan of it, okay? GTA 3 was as explosive in the gaming scene as Shenmue was. Open worlds, day and night cycles, amazing music, and all the wanton destruction and violence a young growing boy would need. That's GTA 3 to me. I remember as a kid in the early 2000s getting my hand, get a good glimpse at how GTA was, okay? Everyone had a good old-fashioned Nintendo GameCube, but the GameCube didn't have no Liberty City. You catch my drift? Now, of course, I've grown up with these games, and every year I go back to replay GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas because they're that good, alright? GTA 3 included. Yes, they've kind of a good time to get back in. In fact, it's such a good time that Rockstar Games is releasing the Definitive Edition. I want to just watch this trailer real quick. Hell yeah, boy. Oh! Oh! God, that music. Oh! 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 And then, ladies and gentlemen, we got some San Andreas. Now, of course, they don't have a release date for this kind of shit, but I figured I might as well show you a snippet of it because that's what really got me going. It's a 25-second clip, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's no better time to return to the good old trilogy like before. Now, a lot of people have some weird misconceptions. I want to read something here real quick, okay? Somebody says, please don't fuck this up, Rockstar. Have you seen GTA Online, buddy? Ooh, finally, something new. This is the audience that grew up with GTA 5, alright? This is the only GTA they know. This gameplay has got to be awesome. We didn't see no gameplay at 25 seconds. It's definitely going to be like GTA 5 engine. Imagine Liberty City and Vice City in 4K. They're setting themselves up for disaster. God damn, that is sad to see. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the GTA release. Now, of course, I wanted to go right to the newswire. I'm sure some people have been reading Kotaku articles or whatever. I go right to the source in this case. I go right to the...
Tonight.
Right to the udder, and that's Rockstar Newswire, where they write Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the Definitive Edition, and more coming soon. Later this month marks a very special anniversary, 20 years since the original GTA 3. I am old, okay? I feel bad at this point, God. And they're really hyping up GTA 3, and then like the other equally legendary entries, Vice City and San Andreas. Let's be real, there's only one game to be excited about in this, that hard. It's Vice City, we know. We like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all the GTA fans who have supported the game over the past 2 decades. Come on, you know the shark card ones are more important than us, come on. So anyways, they got these 3 games coming on the Xbox Series XS. I hate the naming scheme. Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. Ooh boy, we can play Rob same time. We've also got good old-fashioned the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 and the Rockstar Game Launcher on the PC. Yes, this will be a Game Launcher exclusive. The Definitive Edition will feature across-the-board upgrades. Oh, this one's where I really don't have any hype. Listen to this real quick. Including graphical improvements. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I hear including graphical improvements, that could really mean anything. Now, I've heard that this game is running on the Unreal Engine. There's actually proof, apparently floating around, with the actual launcher on the PC having calls to GTA 3 Unreal, GTA VC Unreal, GTA SA Unreal, implying these 3 games are going to be running on Unreal Engine 4 or Unreal Engine 5, whichever one. Now, Unreal Engine doesn't mean that the game is going to look jaw-droppingly brilliant, okay? It's not going to look like Vice City has been remastered like this. No, it's not even going to look close to that. Ladies and gentlemen, it may look like that if it wasn't releasing on all these different systems like the Switch, like the Xbox Series X, and like the PlayStation 4. And in addition to all of those systems, it'll also be released on iOS and Android. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Unreal Engine is a great choice to pick because it allows them to really develop these games and scale them across the board for multiple systems. Have you ever seen Fortnite running on an actual gaming computer with ray tracing enabled? And have you seen Fortnite running at the same time in the same match on a mobile device like an Android phone? Yeah, that's scalability. And with GTA, the engines that these games use, like GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, the renderware engines are so old that if you go onto Steam right now and install GTA 3 and play it all the way through, it will be a finished game in comparison to what you're playing. These games are actually really old. Running them on any modern piece of hardware is going to invite you with some level of a bad time. Now, there are plenty of mods to pull the actual nails out of the urethra, but it's still gonna hurt playing GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas on a modern system, let alone a modern frame rate. There's so many mods out there, and there's a lot of ways to fix up the experience. But heaven forbid you play GTA 3 without any modifications or upgrades to the PC version. So with that said, when I hear graphic, that's just code word for we upped the resolution to 1080p or 4K or 8K if you're playing on the PlayStation 5 and Series X. See, we're that 10 head. Sometimes I think of graphical improvements like, hey, you can finally set the frame limiter past 30 and the game won't die. Fun fact, fun experiment, load up Vice City on PC right now, turn the frame limiter off, and watch the game literally melt in front of your eyes. It is a fucking wild experience. So, modern gameplay enhancements for all three titles. So, unless we're talking about better camera controls, better auto-aim controls, better controls in general, I have to imagine if they're going to retouch up some of the weird missions in these various games. For instance, in San Andreas Rockstar, are you going to get rid of Zero's weird RC flying missions, or at least make them somewhat playable? For example, in Vice City, when I'm rescuing Lance Vance, I know, but Muda, you spoiled it. These games are fucking old. Stop it. Are you going to make sure that Lance Vance isn't going to actually blow his load and the AI around me is going to literally drive into my car like literal mini missiles? These statements alone have led some people to overhype and blow the expectation beyond anything. For me, I'm honestly imagining my literal prediction right now is these will be the iOS versions of the game, the mobile versions that are already there. San Andreas, Vice City, and 3 available for iPhones right now will just simply be ported or copied over for this definitive release. Yes, that includes San Andreas on the iPhone. That was re-released on the PlayStation 3
Wendy's new Big Bacon Cheddar is...
This video was sponsored by Raycon.
Where am I? Oh no, the multiverse truly has broken apart.
Online 2D Metroid game. I have played it. I had the controller in my hands. It was on the Switch, and I went to it, and it went bing, and I selected my profile, and I moved the controller, and it made Samus move around. And I am flipperjambled positively. Obviously, the full review is coming sometime. I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know how long it's gonna be, how in-depth I want to go. I really don't know. So that's why, at the very least, I gotta come at you right now with just, like, my first early impressions of... Because, like, especially for a game like this, where just the raw, in-the-hands experience is already so striking that even though I've barely gotten anywhere in the game, I've played it for maybe a total of 2 hours last night, and I was very tired, and that included me being really, really slow, sometimes just wandering around, just marveling at it. You know what I mean? Like, so like I'm barely anywhere. I haven't even reached a boss or anything. And yet even just that, like I already have an intense need to talk about it to someone. And that's what's so great about having this channel, is whenever that's the whole point. Whenever I feel really strongly about a thing, and you know, normally you're like, oh, I gotta talk to someone. Who do I talk to? I'll just talk to all of you. It's perfect. So, and no spoilers, you know, the footage is just gonna be, you know, really basic early area stuff. I don't even know if we'll show a boss, maybe. You know, we will. We'll probably like go up to like the first boss or something, but just don't look, just listen. It's as simple as I'm not gonna talk about specifics. Just my impressions of the first part of the game. Metroid games aren't like story heavy, you know, like there is a story, but it's, you know, in the way of like cinematics or whatever. There's not like a ton. And yet like just the beginning story, the opening cinematic that leads you into the game, already really intensely impressed with how cool it was, how cool it is, and how much it introduces, how much it's just a thing. I don't know what else to say. There's just like some incredible stuff that happens. The style. Oh my gosh. I mean, I've seen little bits and pieces in the trailer, but like seeing an unbroken cinematic, wow. Just wow. They look incredible. They're just amazingly, I don't know, choreographed, and everything about it. Cinematography, it looks incredibly, incredibly good, incredibly cool. The action is incredible. Even if there aren't that many other cinematics going forward in the game, you know, maybe your biggest stuff is at the beginning. So high right off the bat. It's like, it truly is a modern Metroid. It's everything you would just... I'm still just talking about the cinematics here. It's everything you'd want from a modern Metroid. Like, just seeing Samus doing cool stuff in a cutscene. It's everything you could possibly ever want. And that's I guess that's all I can say about that. Playing the game itself, like, is so good. They're so good. There are elements where it's like a thing that maybe should have a texturing, just kind of look shiny. You know, like it's not absolutely perfect. You know, certain elements that kind of just, it makes it, it's that thing that we're seeing a lot in Nintendo games. It's not actually a toy style, but because of the nature of it and Samus so small on the screen and shiny stuff, it kind of looks like a toy, kind of looks like miniature, only sometimes. For the most part though, just in terms of like art style and just like polish, it looks incredible. The lighting is unreal. Absolutely unreal. The lighting, the use of color, just how it's just designed. Every room, every place, it's so striking. It's like every little bit is just like a little work of art. It's incredible. And yeah, like the color and the lighting and everything, that's the main thing. You know, and I haven't played it on my new Switch OLED, but I am playing it on my OLED TV, and so the darks are just so dark and rich, and it's so you'd want of like Metroid atmosphere. Like, it is absolutely there. And it's another one of those moments where you're looking at it, and this is, like I said, how I was just like screwing around, just like messing around, because I'm so taken aback by just the simple visual of just like, I'm in a room, I'm just like in a save room, and I'm Samus, and I'm just running around, and I'm just aiming my gun, and just shooting, or just moving. I'm not even, literally not doing anything except looking at it, and being struck with how unreal it is that I'm looking at something that is so modern, so sleek, so beautiful, and yet it's Metroid. I'm looking, it's Samus. Like, we just played the old games for so long. It's Samus, but it looks like this. It's so good. I could go on. The gameplay, the first thing, the very first thing, I mean, like, you could tell this just from, like, you know, largely by watching the trailers, and even by, like, playing Samus Returns. One of the best things I went on and on about was just how good it feels. How good those controls feel. She's just so smooth and moving and jumping and stuff. And I did not know, like, I knew it would be good. I knew it would be even better, but I did not know how much further they could take it. They have refined it so incredibly well. The simple act of just walking, running, jumping up platforms, it's so slick. There are so many teeny tiny little things that they did to make it not only feel good to control, you know, it's not like watching a little video game character who's like jerking into all these different poses or whatever. It's all super slick, you know. You can do a little slide, and then as you keep running, she kind of like comes back up again, and it's just, you go over a little lip, and she just walks up the lip. You don't have, you know, you don't get your ankles stuck on it and have to jump over it or whatever. It's slick, it's fluid. She's like water. She's like a person would be, an actual person who's like this, you know, super acrobatic and running and jumping all over the place. It's a flow, it's fluid. It's like the parkour thing, you know? You don't get hung up. And it cannot be overstated how much that just improves just the core experience and makes even just the most basic of encounters of just like, oh, I'm Samus, I'm jumping on platforms and I'm using my gun to shoot little aliens. Even just that is so much fun because it's so polished, and it's a thing that I'm happy about, because it's like there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of Metroidvanias out there, and a lot of them are a lot cheaper, and you know, it's like, okay, it's really going up against a very established genre, and this is $60, but this is the kind of like AAA polish that really takes it a long way. That you look at this and you look at that presentation and you look at just how fluid everything is, how just the polish. It's the Nintendo polish. That's what they do with their games. They polish the heck out of them, and this is no exception. And I think that makes a massive difference to just the, I don't know, the value proposition of this game. The rest of you can kind of slide, and that's a really just slick, awesome thing. You got your melee. I haven't even really dug into like the melee and all that stuff, and it's a good amount of controls to get used to. In my short time, I definitely I didn't quite get the grips with all of it. Just remembering all the different buttons, like it'll come in time, and like I said, I mostly just screwed around. I didn't put myself into a lot of like really intense, you know, combat situations or anything, but it all just, you know, the additions made by Samus Returns, and then the additions, you know, from here, it all feeds in so well. It's all so natural. It feels like, how have we not always had a cool slide move in Metroid? You know, that kind of thing. A little surprised and slightly disappointed that I haven't looked in the options or anything. I don't think so, though. I haven't seen any option to use the right stick for aiming. I kind of thought there'd be like, you know, aim with the right stick, and I don't know, maybe it's in the options. I don't know, like I said, I haven't looked, but it's not built into the default settings. You hold, what is it, the left bumper or the right bumper or something to aim, to do free aim, and use the left stick to do it, which means that you can't move while moving. You can't aim while moving. I can't move while moving. That's funny. And it could be that was just a design choice on their part. They wanted to be like, if you are doing precise aiming, you gotta stop. I mean, it's kind of how it would be in real life. You know, you can do rough shots, you know, while you're on the move, but you can't like stop and aim in a really exact place when you're like just sprinting. So maybe that's a choice on their part or something. But yeah, the free aim, just like with Samus Returns, feels really good. All of the moves feel really good. It's just going to take me a little bit of practice. Mechanically, I actually haven't dug into a lot yet. Like, it really hasn't. It's been very basic. It's been introducing the Emmys and stuff, and so I haven't really like upgraded a whole bunch. I've gotten a couple like missile expansions or something, but like that's just about it. And so I don't even know, like, mechanically what other, you know, I don't even know I haven't watched the trailers. I don't know all the different power-ups we're going to get or whatever. I don't even know what the world is going to be like, what kind of stuff I'm going to be doing. But what I've seen so far, the world is already so intriguing. It's so beautiful and mysterious, and I just can't wait to just delve into other areas of it. And like, it's such a good place to be with a game where I've only gotten a taste, just a little teeny tiny taste. I've just felt out the controls, seen what they're like, gotten an idea of how it looks, seen the opening cutscenes, just like, this is what's happening in the story. And based on those, just those, it's like the game already has me. You know, it's like I said, the opening cutscene was so good, there might not even be that many other cutscenes in the game, and it would still be like, I'm still pretty satisfied because that was just so good. And like, I don't even know what kind of levels or enemies there are going to be, but the core gameplay is so good. All matters, all the level design and all that stuff. It all matters a lot, but it's just so good to be here at the beginning and be so enamored with the very basics that it is just introduced, that, like, there's only up to go from here. There's only more to see. There's only more to discover. I'm already so, just so madly in love with the tiny little taste that I have already gotten. And it's just a heck of a place to be. You know what I mean? And before I go, I should talk about the Emmys, you know, the stealth sequences. Again, I'm not going to go into it too mechanically or whatever, just kind of like vaguely what it's like. It's great. It's really scary. The game does not waste time in laying that dread on you, you know. These things are a lot more aggressive and good at finding you than I anticipated. I mean, I think there might be some kind of tool I get later that makes it a little easier, but right now it's like, holy cow, they find you. They find you, and it's great. It's harder than I expected. Like, it's tough. I've died a bunch of times. I really have. But the game is really good at, it does all the right things that I love in games that are hard. That, you know, it makes it not so bad that I'm dying a lot. Checkpoints are really generous. You can jump back in really quickly after you die. And also just the fact that you're so fluid in your movement, you know, like you can get around the map really quickly when you know where you're going. So it's just like, it never feels like you lose too much progress. And it's just, it's like tough but fair. It's hard, but it's still fun, and that's making me even more excited about the game, because I've heard that some of the bosses are pretty hard too, but I don't know, I'm just, what can I say? What can I say? It's so good. I guess I gotta stop somewhere. I love it. Everything about it's so good. Every little thing, every tiny little thing that could be good about it, it is. And I guess I just gotta end it there. Again, I don't know when the full review will be, or what it'll even look like, or how big it'll be, or whatever. Maybe I'll do it in a week. Maybe it'll take me a year. Who knows? Let me know what you think down in the comments. No spoilies for anyone, but what do you think? Are you enjoying Metroid Dread? Is this your first Metroid game? Is this not your first Metroid game? Let us all know. See you later. I am gonna go because it's the middle of the day and the house is full of people, and it's like, how do you play a game like Metroid?